On the old model, which we might call the Newtonian model, if we pushed it back further to the work of Sir Isaac Newton and his work on dynamics, everything in the way of an electrical or magnetic field, an energy surrounding matter was created was grounded in the matter itself, the M side of Einstein's equation. However, the new way of thinking was that maybe the fundamental thing is the energy side, the waves, radio waves and the like, which do seem to be able to transmit right across space, not through any medium at all, although many of you will know that in more recent times the concept of zero-point energy that fills empty space, so in other words it's not empty, that has arisen now to try and give waves, the transmission of waves of energy, a medium through which to be transmitted. But be that as it may, I'll just stick with my simple exposition. The E side of the equation, the M side of the equation. And the shift from trying to think that maybe waves cause substance, create particles, that maybe waves have in them forms of energy, pulsations of energy, points of condensation, points of expansion, and so on. Now, the puzzle when you address yourself to a concept like this is, how do we get an experiential foothold on the difference? What does it mean to you, listening to me now? I don't want you to be lost in sort of the abstract nature of what I'm talking about. I want you to try to come to terms with this from your own experience. And in truth, when we start looking, it's actually easy to find the experience of energy itself. You know, someone steps into a room and they're in a particular mood and suddenly you feel hit by this down mood. Now, there hasn't been, to the best of our knowledge, any transmission of any material substance from one person to another. But there's been a transmission of some kind of, for want of a better word, energy that we sense, that we have this capacity to sense energy itself as distinct from sensing material things like a leaf here and being able to feel it between our fingers. We can also feel much more subtle things. We can put this on a scale and weigh it. We cannot take the mood of the person who's just walked into the room and put that on a scale and weigh it. So for us, we experience it as a form of energy. In fact, the experience of energy is absolutely fundamental to our ability to act in the world altogether, as distinct from the experience of material substance. If I'm a cricketer and I want to leap up to catch a ball, I have to be able to evaluate in an instant just how much energy to put into leaping up to catch that ball as it comes through. And we have this extraordinary capacity to evaluate the energy necessary for particular purposes, to quantify it and supply precisely the amount of energy that is necessary in order to achieve that. You start noticing. You might think, because the educational system in which you've been brought up has been focused on material objects, their weight, their density, their form, their use as material objects, to jack up a car, for example, to change a tyre, all that sort of thing. We focus so much of our attention on that that we cease to notice that a very large part of our time we are dealing with and operating with something much more subtle. And of course, I've given you very obvious examples, but when we go more into it and start thinking about our mind and start wondering now what form of energy is that and how does that energy interact with the world of energy that we know outside, which includes everything from the energy in the flame of a match when you strike it and there's a flame there, to the explosion of a nuclear bomb.